there is, I forget what the company is called, like Rev, I think is the name of the company. But do you know what the benefit of a 2-stroke engine is over a 4-stroke?
Mm-mm.
A 2-stroke has twice as many power pulses, which seems obvious once you say it, right?
Yeah.
Except that because of the way a 2-stroke works right now, it doesn't have a valve system. So it does. The other benefit is that it's power per size of cubic centimeter taken up of the engine. They're really small because they don't have a valve train. They don't have camshafts into that. The piston itself is its own valve. And as part of that process, the part of the lubrication happens by putting oil in the fuel. Okay. This company called Rev has managed to make a 2-stroke engine with a simple valve, so it doesn't take up any more space, and it's reliable. A 2-stroke engine, the size of a 1.3, but it makes like 300 horsepower, naturally aspirated, because it has twice as many power pulses. But it's as clean running and can pass potentially EPA regulations just as easily as a 4-stroke, because it does have valves as rotary valves, which I won't get into. They're very cool. But that's interesting and new that I want to talk about next time. I'll look into it more. But that you can put, say, whatever is going to be in this hybrid 1.5 turbo and then an electric or whatever, you can replace that, get 60% more horsepower out of it, and then it's naturally aspirated. No turbocharger, less weight, less cost, all that. I think they're in early stages. They're looking for a lot of investment right now to get to real production. They've only made a handful of like prototypes, but they have passed basically every major hurdle that would stop them from putting into production, except for money.
So is that all?
Yeah. If they can get the investment, but that's flowing like water right now, investing in all kinds of EV companies left, right, and center. But this is actually a real and big innovation in the internal combustion engine space that hasn't happened in decades.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can get it off the ground with even just the same amount of investment that Slate got, I'm sure they could get this engine in some cars.
Slate, last I read, now this was probably a month ago now, maybe not a month, they had 100,000 reservations at $50.
So that's $50 million.
It's
$5 million.
$5 million. Yeah.
That's not that much for an EV company.
Yeah.
They should put it at $100.
Yeah. But they have a lot of these pre-production trucks, like tons of them, which just goes back. And I don't mean to like change the subject, but it does go back to like what I said about you make them really, really, really simple. Like dirt cheap and simple to make. You can crank out loads of those things, you know.
Imagine a little 2-stroke 1-liter engine in that with 250 horsepower.
Gosh, I would buy one of those.
Have you heard what a 2-stroke sounds like though?
Yeah, it sounds like a dirt bike.
So freaking cool.
Yeah.
And because they have twice as many power pulses, 3,000 RPM in a 2-stroke sounds like 6,000 RPM. Mm-hmm. They sound awesome. So imagine getting a 2-stroke that could rev up to like 8,000 RPM and it sounds like it's screaming at 16K.
Well, and it's tiny, so it could fit in that engine bay.
Yeah. If you get like a little 1-liter 2-stroke engine, yeah, and they're actually more efficient per power pulse than a 4-stroke.
It doesn't sound like they'd be more expensive. Honestly, it might be less expensive to make, so you don't need nearly as much.
You don't need valve trains.
Yeah.
You don't need any of that. And they're smaller. Yeah. They're lighter. It's actually a really, really big potential innovation that people aren't really talking about. But someone not me brought it up to me today. He's like, hey, have you seen this Rev engine? I'm like, the 2-stroke? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. The guy from my church group, he's like, he just knows I'm into cars. And he's like, I saw this 2-stroke engine. I'm like, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.